know how I'm gonna survive without him.
Her partner of 13 years was tragically killed during yesterday's windstorm when a tree fell on his home as they slept inside. How she's remembering her loved one tonight.
We're under a KREM 2 weather impact alert with another round of wind expected to hit the region tonight.
Plus, the Seahawks and Rams head to overtime in a game with huge implications for both teams. We'll break down the big moments tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us for the KREM 2 Night Report. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We are tracking several big stories across the region tonight. A Pullman man found guilty of international kidnapping after taking his daughter to Mexico. Tonight, a similar conviction for his dad and a plea from his girlfriend. Plus, the partner of a Kootenai County man who was killed during yesterday's windstorm is speaking to KREM 2 tonight. But all eyes are on the forecast tonight as cleanup from that deadly storm continues. Another round of strong wind, snow, and cold temperatures moving in, all while thousands remain without power tonight. Winds topping out over 50 miles an hour right now. You can hear it in Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Zagoo's microphone. So, Jeremy, what do we need to know for the hours and days to come?
It is horrible out here right now. Let's see if I can. Oh, man, this is not fun. I don't like this at all. So let's go ahead and dive into the forecast. Wind is going to keep blowing for the next couple of hours. We have peaked out at 54 miles per hour already this evening. That was just a few minutes ago. I was standing out here. It was not great. Wind advisories remain in effect through tomorrow morning for wind gusting at 45 to 55 miles per hour. 54 is what we have clocked in Spokane now, 40 up in Deer Park, 48 out in Richland. It is going to stay windy. We are in the heart of it right now. I think for the next hour, we're seeing the worst of it. Then it starts to calm down. But I don't think until after 1 a.m. are we in the clear. Up in the mountains, it's coming down as snow, but snow and wind don't mix, and it is downright nasty. Rain as well. By the way, it is raining out here. This is not fun. 39 degrees where we top out tomorrow, and we will see sunshine, believe it or not. 39 on Saturday with scattered showers returning to the region, and by Sunday, rain and snow return in a big way.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. Get inside and warm up. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast tonight. Well, we have been tracking current power outages all week long, and tonight, almost 12,000 customers have gone about 48 hours without power. Many of those outages in the Silver Valley tonight, with thousands of residents there waiting for their lights to turn back on. Paul Good, the electric director of operations for Avista, says crews are working 24/7 to get people's power back on around the region, with 14 crews working in North Idaho specifically. Good says the main cause for the outages in the Silver Valley was the damage done to the transmission lines.
A few transmission lines serving the Silver Valley, and we really saw a lot of damage, historic damage to our transmission system. And a lot of those lines on the transmission system, you know, they're off-road, and so that access makes it even more challenging.
Crews say some people in the Silver Valley should expect to be without power until Saturday or Sunday. And tonight we are learning the name of the man who died when a tree fell on his house just outside of Coeur d'Alene during yesterday's historic windstorm. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy spoke with the family of the victim and tells us more about how the community is wrapping their arms around them. Connor?
Well, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office confirms 55-year-old Kent Butler was sleeping in his home when a tree fell on his home early Wednesday morning. His partner Brooklyn says she's still processing the loss, but is grateful for the support she's been getting from those closest to her.
Kind, generous, and warm.
He was the first guy in a long time that spoke to me like I was a human being.
Is how Brooklyn Smith describes Kent Butler as her partner of more than 10 years and stepfather to her son Micah.
He was like a second father to him. And yeah, there's just the whole universe has lost a lot with him being gone.
Kootenai County Sheriff's Office says Butler was sleeping in their home early Wednesday morning when a tree fell on his home due to the historic windstorms this week, falling into their bedroom while they were sleeping. Butler died at the scene. Smith recalls the moment she realized she was trapped inside their home and looked over to where she was used to only seeing her partner beside her.
And when I was able to get out enough to look over to Kent's side of the bed, there was nothing there but the tree trunk.
She and Micah managed to get out of the home But the pain of losing the man she loves, Smith says, is still with her and her loved ones.
I don't know how I'm gonna survive without him.
Right now, Smith says she and her son are staying with family friends. In her grief, she says she's blown away at the kindness of her loved ones and, in some cases, strangers.
I'm very grateful to all the friends and family and stuff who donated. Some person who didn't even know us made a pot roast for us.
As Smith and her son plan for their next steps after this tragedy, she says she'll never forget her partner and loved one.
I'm really, really, really eternally grateful to everybody who's helping us so that we can at least have like food and clothing and be able to find somewhere to live.
Right now, Smith says it's unclear if they'll be able to move back into the home after the damage or if they have to live somewhere else. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
All right, Connor, thank you. A Pullman man found guilty of international kidnapping after taking his daughter to Mexico last year. Aaron Ong failed to return his 2-year-old daughter to her mother back in June of 2024. Just yesterday, his girlfriend, Nadia Cole, pleading guilty to similar charges. Aaron and the child were eventually found by Mexican officials back in July and subsequently returned to the U.S. In federal court yesterday, Ong and his father, James Ong, were both convicted of international parental kidnapping and conspiracy. All three are set to be sentenced coming up in March. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. The Brown University shooting suspect has been found dead in New Hampshire as of just hours ago. This video shows police searching an area in Salem, New Hampshire in connection with the suspect. A vehicle possibly linked to the suspect was found abandoned in the area. The December 13th shooting left 2 students dead, another 9 wounded. Officials now say they're looking into the connection between the shooting and the killing of a Massachusetts Institute of Technology professor 2 days later. A jury has found the owner of a Hayden security company guilty of some crimes during a February legislative town hall. Paul Truitt was found guilty of 2 counts of battery and violations of security agent uniforms and duties. The case examined how his security company escorted out hecklers at the Republican legislative town hall in Coeur d'Alene. Truitt's attorney argued it was impossible for him to have committed the crime since he was acting on behalf of Kootenai County Sheriff Bob Norris. But the chief deputy prosecutor says Sheriff Norris never gave an order to remove, restrain, or detain anybody. This afternoon, Spokane City, county, and regional leaders announced a major agreement that changes how emergency calls are handled in Spokane over the next several years. The agreement lays out a phased 2-year transition for how emergency calls are answered and dispatched in Spokane. Right now, Shrek handles emergency call taking and dispatch services across Spokane County. This includes for the Spokane Police and Fire Departments. Under the agreement, the city will gradually take over those responsibilities inside city limits as it builds out its own primary 911 call center. Well, crime check calls will now move to 311 in late 2026. Fire dispatch shifts in 2027, and by 2028, the city will handle all city emergency calls. New tonight, Governor Bob Ferguson rolled out a plan today to invest $244 million in affordable housing. The plan includes funding for rehab programs, helping first-time home buyers, speeding up construction, and supporting clean energy upgrades. The proposal also targets flood recovery with money set aside to repair damaged homes.
The scale is big. We need about 1 million new homes, new housing units by 2044, and a significant number of those need to be what we would classify as affordable housing. Rents remain high, and homeownership is, as we know, out of reach for too many families.
The governor says he also wants to create a new state housing agency to spearhead these priorities. And that's it for your Night Beat. For more information on any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. All right, don't go to bed just yet. Catastrophic flooding bringing even more concern for those living near Mount St. Helens. But first, we are taking a look at the inside of an Alaska Airlines command center where split-second decisions keep thousands of flights moving. We are back in just 90 seconds.